If you are documenting every workout, posting your daily reading streaks, and broadcasting your goals to the internet, you aren't actually building discipline. You are building an image. We live in a self-improvement ecosystem that trains us to tie our motivation directly to likes, views, and external validation. Every time you check a comment section or update a public status, you spend your focus currency before your day even begins. The problem with relying on an audience to keep you accountable is what happens when that audience stops clapping. When the views drop or the attention fades, the motivation to continue the habit instantly evaporates. If your system requires external applause to function, your mindset is completely vulnerable to the outside world. This chart illustrates a rigid, binary streak, the kind most modern habit trackers rely on. It looks highly productive until reality interferes, causing the entire line to shatter and drop to zero at a single missed note. That sudden break breeds immediate guilt. Because the system demanded absolute perfection instead of steady progress, a single interruption usually causes people to completely abandon their goals. The ancient world handled self-improvement very differently. For the philosophers walking through the Roman Forum, true resilience was a private endeavor, forged far away from public scrutiny. True resilience requires a framework that can survive failure in private, rather than demanding a flawless illusion in public. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught a specific directive: keep your progress completely private until it becomes stable enough to survive external judgment. When you remove the audience, you force a confrontation with true self-awareness. You strip away the performative mask and have to honestly ask yourself why you are doing the work in the first place. Seneca called this the true test of virtue. It is measured entirely by what you choose to do when the effort is difficult and yields absolutely zero public reward or recognition. Building this private stability creates a permanent internal anchor. You keep going whether people praise your effort or completely ignore it. Stoic silence is a deliberate mechanism to transfer accountability away from the fragile crowd and place it squarely onto the unbreakable self. To build that internal anchor, you can use a practical defense mechanism known as the 10-minute lockdown. For the first 10 minutes of your morning, absolutely no screens, notifications, or external urgencies are allowed to penetrate your mind. This diagram shows the dichotomy of control, an intellectual framework used during this quiet window to filter the chaos of the world into two distinct pathways: internal control and external noise. For anything landing in the external noise category, like the economy or someone else's opinion, you consciously label the anxiety as "not my business" and mentally discard it. For the internal control category, you translate a valid concern into a single, concrete action step that takes 5 minutes or less to complete. Executing this 10-minute filtering practice builds an impenetrable mental fortress that dictates the terms of engagement for the rest of your day. But even with a mental fortress, failure is inevitable. What happens to the Stoic mind when a day is missed and the routine breaks? Instead of modern despair, ancient leaders relied on reconciliation. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius used private journaling to practice temperance, the virtue of self-control and moderation, allowing him to course-correct without spiraling. We can apply this today through the kintsugi method of habit building. Kintsugi is the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with gold, treating breakage as part of the object's history rather than a flaw to disguise. Deliberately mending a broken routine makes your psychological system stronger than an unbroken, fragile streak. Ultimate freedom is a stable mind that does not require posting about its wins and does not collapse under the weight of its private losses. The problem with modern digital tools is that generic habit trackers are actively designed around the exact vanity metrics and guilt trips that Stoicism warns against. This UI breakdown shows StoicHabit, a digital application specifically built to facilitate the reality of private, resilient progress. Notice how a misday is not a reset to zero, but visually transforms into a golden mended link. StoicHabit includes features built for true discipline. There is no account login, ensuring ultimate privacy. It uses kintsugi-inspired streak recovery, and it features on-device AI for private, mentor-guided reflection. Stop performing for the internet and start building a quiet discipline that actually survives setbacks. Download StoicHabit using the link in the description.